Hi. I missed last Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'll be there this Tuesday at 4 p.m. I've been really busy switching hours at the store and different things like that. This coming Wednesday, we have vision boards, so that should be a lot of fun. Bring your magazines you want to cut out of. Goodness, we should all stay hydrated. Okay. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about this program. It's not really a program. It's going to be, hi, hello, yay. I'm doing something. Yes, I changed it. Somebody told me I had to be known, and I was like, oh, okay, great. So I have a festive background. I have a bunch of brooms going across the sky. This is my moon. My artistic palette, if you will. Yes. Anyway, I've been doing like this energy aspect for quite a long time, and I wanted to share how I do it with other people. So I thought that what I could do is, because for me it's very magical, and I thought that what I could do is I could host I have it already listed. It's in March. And so it'll be March 21st and 22nd, and it will be about energy and how to work with energy and align to energy. All right. And I'm really excited about that. And so let's see. So Bernadette. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this up there for you. Okay. What messages does Spirit have for me about my romantic relationship? Definitely struggling at times. Okay. Well, then that's what you're doing. Okay, you're just practicing a vibration. We can talk ourselves into being with someone, and we can talk ourselves out of being with someone. And it's all about what we think and feel. And so if you're thinking that it's struggling at times, then those times, if you're focusing on struggling times, right, then what happens is that you practice that vibe, that vibration. You start to feel it, start to think it, and then more of the same style thoughts gravitate toward you because you're magnetic in your vibration. That's the law of attraction. So when you're asking about a relationship, how do you feel about the relationship? What do you think about the relationship? Practice the vibrations of a relationship that you want, not what you don't want. And don't make it hinge on the opposite individual, on your partner. What happens is this, right? Because it's all vibration, okay? So what happens, okay. I'll just, there we go. I'll just go into vibration. It'll be easier. She's checked out, she's driving and everything, and I get it. That's how it works. We're just pulling energy toward us. There we go. Whew. Cool. Everything is vibration for me. That's how I translate my world. That's how I apply my life. I know that everything starts from a thought and a feeling. Since it starts from a thought and a feeling, I have choice. How I want to feel, how I want to think. And it's all generating vibrations. It's going to generate frequencies. It's like music. So you'll have musical notes that you're playing all day long. And if the song is sad, then you'll be sad, and sad things will represent themselves to you. All right? If the song that you're playing for yourself is happy or joyous or appreciative or grateful, then any of those alignments will play the story back to you, the energy back to you. And that's the opportunities that open for you. All right? It's easier to manage you than it is to try to manage the world. The world has a lot of us in it, right? Over 8 billion people, all very unique and individual, wanting their own experience of sorts, okay? It makes it open. So when it's open like that, and we all come from the same consciousness, basically, all right, or the same spirit, we're all connected in that way, in energy, all right? Those are 3 different ways that people say it. There's other ways. There's so many different ways. Hardly anybody says it doesn't exist, all right? These are just phrases to correlate the subject. So what you do is, let's say you're in a situation that feels overwhelming. If you can manage to recognize that you are feeling overwhelmed, because we don't like to tell ourselves that, because it feels like we're less than, it feels like we're not managing ourselves well, we're not doing it right. And that's just a story too. So the idea is to just stop the story that you're saying, the music that you're singing to yourself, okay? Stop it and say, what kind of music would I like to feel and think? What kind of music would I like to feel and think? Would I like music that is upbeat and happy and pointed and message driven? Yes, because that gives us a profound sense of purpose, right? And then what do I care about? What do I care about, right? And you have to care about yourself, because that's your indicator, because you're bringing things to you to give care to, and it comes from you. So you got to give it to you. All right? It's a vibration. Everything is a vibration. What we're going through right now, societally, globally, with the horrendous treatment of human beings, all right? Still vibrational. It's still vibrational. When we look at it and we feed our sorrow to it, more becomes. When we feed our fear, more becomes. We need to manage our energetic aspects so that we can pull the energy the way that we would like it and tell the story how we want it to be. That's how you do it. Everybody's thinking right now. Everybody's thinking. All of us are in it right now. We're all in the same consciousness. All right? It's oneness. We're all together. And now, whatever now is, it always develops your future. It always develops your future. So where you're at makes a difference. Choosing to be centered helps others around you. Choosing peace helps others around you. It gives you clarity. It lets you choose how it is that you want to move forward. You're not caught up in whatever the driven energy is. So you're not feeling out of sorts any longer. You're starting to feel more of yourself. You're not curious about hardship, but you're aware of it. And now you're in a more clear space to where if you want to participate by doing something about it, you can. You need to manage that so that you have clarity. You really do. It's like that. That's how the age of Aquarius is. It's all about how you feel and having faith that you're moving in the direction. And when you choose like a vibration that feels accepting and inclusive, that's when you don't feel the push, okay? The push is masculine energy, okay? And it is domineering, control-driven energy. But it's also doing energy when it's in its divinity. It's doing energy. It's actionable energy. It's intellectual energy. It's your logical mind. So it's all these beautiful things, okay? The idea is you need balance in everything. You recognize where you're at, what you're doing, right? And then you see or feel into how your intuitive nature, that's your divine feminine, is perceiving your experience. And so as you're perceiving your experience, you begin to feel into it in your body. When you feel into it in your body, you generate yet another vibration. If you think that your thought is different than your feeling, it isn't. It's representational of your interpretation, how you're saying and feeling it to yourself. So that's what it's doing. And then it's vibrating back. It's creating a ripple out into the universe. And then it's bringing that same vibration back to you to re-experience, because that's the information you're using. The idea is to give yourself spaciousness. Nothing happens right now, right now, right now. A lot of things happen right now. See? Okay. Conceptually, we're all doing exceptionally well. We're doing something for all of our hearts, something for all of our minds, and something for all of our physicality. We're showing up in many different ways. And I'm very happy that we're doing it with our heart space. We've woken up to divine feminine. Divine feminine kind of came awake, like she came out of her slumber, all right, on the 24th. And then she stepped right into Neptune on the 26th. And that was like the biggest shift that everybody was feeling. All of a sudden, people woke up and they were like, oh, that's how this works. Everybody did, the whole planet, not just Orange County, not just Texas, not just Canada, the planet. The planet woke up to divine feminine energy, a saturation of it. And this is what Pluto's representation with Aquarius is. It's learning to balance the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And we have to go to great depth to find our emotions so that we start to trust our intuitive nature again. All right? Not only our inherent knowledge, yet our intuitive knowledge. Feelings are recognitions. We recognize like where we're at, what's happening. We have a feeling about it. All right? Okay, so that's how we communicate to ourselves on a regular basis. Some of the things that are beneficial for us are to slow down. When we're in a loop and we see that we are practicing the same, I want to say, information, because the pattern is the same. Maybe you're just going to work. Maybe you're just making dinner, maybe you're cleaning, maybe you're going to school. All of these things are a pattern. You have a habitual pattern that allows you to feel ease and support and safety. Okay, so you practice these patterns. Sometimes you get extra information and you're not aware of it. You're not aware that you got extra information in your vibration. Then what happens is that you want to get rid of it because it doesn't feel good, but you're so focused on this other thing that just happened that you're not back in who you are and what it is that you want. So you'll stay focused over here until you let go, and then you'll go ahead and you'll return to the focus of you. And as you do, you're pulling back this information and you're staying in that vibration that you were investigating. The idea is to give yourself clarity and breathe. Just breathe, stop the vibration, say, okay, I know what that is. Great. And then you're releasing it. You're surrendering your curiosity back to yourself. Okay? The next thing that you can do is you can allow yourself to feel into what you would like, because we have a DNA strand that allows us to regulate our emotional body. All right? And you choose how you want to feel, and intuitively that's how you choose. So when you clear your emotions and you start to become emotionally stable and then balanced, what ends up happening is that your intuition kicks in and you understand with greater meaning your experience. It slows things down. You become the representational factor of your experience. And then you're in choice more often. So these are some of the concepts that I'll be teaching at this seminar or workshop. It's going to be 2 days, March 21st and 22nd of 2026. And early birds is 444, and they're 5-hour segments. So it's 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I'm very excited because we're going to do ritual. So I'm going to teach you ritual, how to get your intention. That's another one. How to clear your field, extremely clear your field, how to get in connection with the divine nature that you already are. Heck yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. And then there's some other things that I have on it, and I'm very happy to do it. So 2 days, it's 10 hours. The first hour, you'll get an attunement. The attunement will be to clairsentience energy. Clairsentience energy was something that I received when I did a deep meditation, and spirit, gods, goddesses, ascended masters, it was a higher vibration. It could be galactic beings, it could be light beings. I know it was the Elohim. That's who I've come to know it to be. They just told me. All right. I was very curious. I was extremely curious. My curiosity took me into different pathways, trying to understand things. And I studied Reiki. So I teach Reiki and other stuff on Mondays and Tuesdays. Anyway, what I do is I just teach basics in my practice, along with sharing how energy works. Okay. And for a long time, I was very happy about Reiki, but I felt very limited because I was afraid that I was going to do something wrong, because there was like this touch, no touch thing, but I don't touch. So it's weird and depends on a lot of licensure stuff. So I decided I didn't want to do that. And I was too freaked out, but I was still doing the energy that I was doing way before I got attuned to Reiki. So I didn't know what to call it, and I didn't know where it came from, and I wanted to know where it came from. So this one day I was told by the powers that be, so to speak, or consciousness, right? Elevated consciousness, higher consciousness, right? Aligned consciousness, divine consciousness. All right, different vibrations, right? So divine consciousness. And I happened to be sitting in the big room here at Body Studios, and I felt forlorn. Like I didn't know what to do. I was caught between a rock and a hard space, and I was telling myself a story at the time. And this is how vibration works. So I'm telling myself a story at the time. I don't know what to do. I feel like my hands are tied. I'm going to get in trouble. The Reiki police are going to show up and they're going to shut me down. All kinds of stuff in my head. And that was because I hadn't done a lot of inner healing. So all my emotions were all over the place. Okay. I'd done a lot of inner clearing, but not a lot of inner healing. And then what ended up happening is that I went into a deep trance state and meditative state, and I was taken on a journey. And at first I was it felt like I was on a beach looking at a horizon of the ocean, but the ocean that was in front of me was the whole thing. Okay. And it was energy. And when I touched it, it was like, it was gooey, not gooey, but it was like, I don't know, it gave, but it had depth, okay? You could feel it. And so they told me to dive in. So I did. I dove in, and as I was diving, I think I got pretty far in, and they go, breathe, and I took a breath because I didn't know I wasn't breathing. And then I got to another place where there was like this little, and all of a sudden I'm like in this deep blue water, and they're saying, why don't you go ahead and look for the white light. So I looked for the white light. And at first I'm thinking, oh, it has to be up here. The white light's up here. Anyway, no, it was down here. It was down. And they said, take your third eye and make sure that the light is just above it. And that'll guide you. So I did that. So I went ahead and I'm going down this interesting trance meditation. And when I get toward the light, there's this there's these billowy clouds, right? And they're really white and they're really pretty and everything, very inviting. And so I go into these clouds that are extremely illuminated with light, and I go in and it feels, oh, yay, happy, joyous, free. All right. Then all of a sudden they start to get a little bit gray, a little bit darker, and it starts to feel like what my interpretation of hell might feel like. And I'm hearing things. I'm hearing like weird shit, like gnashing of teeth and stuff like that. And I get this frightened sort of Like, oh my, what the fuck is this? anyway, so I keep going, and then all of a sudden they go, swim faster. That's what they tell. That's the advice I get during this trance. And I go, okay, so I'm swimming faster, swimming faster. And as I do, I'm getting to like a mirror aspect of like what I just experienced. So it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I'm getting toward like whatever the white billowy thing is. And all of a sudden I'm in this space. I'm in a space, and it has a bright red velvet curtain. Okay. And I'm facing it. Okay. A bright red velvet curtain, and I can't see on the other side. And they tell me just to go ahead and put one finger in there, just one finger. All right. And take just a little bit, less than a pinhead. Okay. And that is the reason that we gave you the energy to work with. And so I did that. So I put my hand into the curtain, and when I started to bring my hand back, well, it was my finger actually. When I started bringing my finger back, my whole hand started to turn into this unconditional love, and it was becoming really overwhelming. But it was so much. It was like so much, and it was just very surreal. And as I kept pulling my hand back, because I'm in that trance meditation, right? And as I'm pulling myself back, I start to swim backwards. Everything starts to reverse itself almost exactly. So I'm going backwards. And as I'm going backwards, I'm becoming more and more and more of this energy of why the universe wants us to feel so good, right? And I'm feeling more and more and more. And it was just wild. So by the time I got back into my body, I open my eyes, I pop open, and I go, oh, wow, this is a little weird. And I have something in my hand, and what I have in my hand is triangles. And I don't know why I have triangles in my hand, but all of a sudden, my whole giddy up was to be able to get my own kind of modality, so that way I didn't have to do Reiki and it would be fine. And so I came out of it, and I was like, wow, this isn't just for me. This isn't just for me. This isn't for me to like, this is for everybody. And then I threw it into the air, and I gave it like back to the universe, but to everybody here on the planet. And since then, I have looked for changes. All right. And a lot of the changes that I've looked for, obviously I've found, okay, because that's what usually happens. Yet the energy is really lending toward this beautiful change, toward this unconditional love. And so that's the practice. And that's how I came to receive it. And it was a very exciting experience for me. And that was quite a few years ago. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attune people to it, because I think that they would like that. And I'll take them into the same deep trance state that I was in. And I might mirror the same experience that I had in a guided aspect. Yet after that, we'll go ahead and we'll spend hours learning how to manage the energy. And it's really nice, because what it does is it's clear essence. So clear you. We base it in elements because we're elements. We do it in essence rather than all physical. So all of your bodies matter. Your mind, your emotion, your physical body. So we take all of that into consideration while we're managing this energy source that's you. And that's what it is. It's you managing you. So anyway, so I plan to do that in March. And I like things that are around the equinox. I like big things like that. So now I will entertain questions. If you have questions, I wanted to be able to tell you all the nice little things that I'm up to. Anybody have any questions? Okay. I'm reading. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Sometimes people will, so what'll happen is sometimes people will come online and they won't know what this is because it gets pushed out, right? And they're curious, but they're feeling something. When they're feeling something, they don't know how to react to it. So they do this. Oh, that's not That's not what I believe in, and that's fine. It's perfect. That's like why we're all unique and individual. It's just excellent. So if you let's see. So if Priscilla is still here, all right, and you want me to answer your question, I'll be more than happy to do that. Or if anybody else is here, I'll answer a question now. Or I can pull a rune for the upcoming week. Oh, hey, Bernadette. So you can watch the replay. We went into an explanation of energy, and that seemed to be what was necessary. So I'll pull runes today. Okay, great. Yay. Cool. Very cool. See, you're already aligned. That's why you don't need anybody to tell you anything. You just need to sit still long enough to get what it is that you're asking for. Here, I'll pull a rune for you. Let's see. Ooh, nice. Harvest. That's actually nice, huh? It sounds kind of nice. So it's called Jera. I'm pretty selective when I come here. I'm scared of the silence. I fear what I don't understand. I'm looking up the page in the book. You're fine. Fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Relax. Relax. What would you be scared of? The rune is an oracle. All right. And what you're feeling possibly, okay, is change is about to happen. When I read from my runes, change happens. Okay. And it usually outlines it, and it coincides with what you already know and feel to be true. Okay. So that's all it does. And it helps you better understand like what your situation is. It's usually very applicable. Okay. So here we go. All right. Now you were talking about spirit. Okay. Yet when you get your best messages, you're probably grooving to some vibe that feels really good, or you're just tasking somewhere and then they pop in. It's because you don't hold your gate. Okay. Let go of your gate. All right. It doesn't have to be in the dark around candles like a seance. You could do that too. Okay, here's your rune. Your rune is Jera. Harvest, fertile season. Harvest, fertile season, 1 year. Ooh, okay. So whatever it is that you're asking about, there we go. Whatever it is that you're asking about right now, like you said, I had a lot of scary experiences as a child, and about, okay. Okay. For sure. Okay. So I see that, like, okay, first, before I read this is going to give you the answer. I already know, I feel it. However, what I want you to do is understand that you're managing the energy, whether or not you want to stay in contact with the energy or don't want to stay in contact with the energy. Okay. So how you do it is through intention. If your intention is for your field to be clear and have 20 feet of personal energetic space at all times, and then you have like someone that you work with, guardian angel, a gatekeeper, something like that, or maybe you have a hobbit, who cares? Whatever it is, there might be something that you've created, and you just say, okay, you're going to make sure nothing comes in here, and if something wants to, you have to tell me. Okay. You make rules up for the energetic field, and then the energetic field behaves the way you make the rules up. If you say, I can't hear, you won't hear. I can't feel, you can't feel then. If I can't think, okay, great. I don't see it. Get it? What it is we're creating the limitation through the story that we're telling. All right? Of course, it's going to be scary because you're in this fluctuation of energy. You're trying to practice what you think safety is and non-scary places are, right? Okay. Yet you're opening yourself to extra vibrational understandings and you don't know exactly what they are. Okay. So that's going to be exciting and scary at the same time. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it right. It means that you have a choice as to which vibration you want to lean into to read from. Get it? Okay. So there will always be fear because we do connect through fear. When we sense fear from a situation and we look around, we're looking for the person who's generating that that vibration. We're looking for somebody who's sketchy, right? But we have intuitive, instinctual knowledge from our heart space, right? Because that's where we self-regulate our emotional body. It generates feeling. Feeling becomes meaning to us. So this means that. Get it? So when you're interpreting things and you're building your psychic dictionary, what you may want to do is something more along the lines of, I like to be open and I like to be spacious. Maybe if I have a practice sometimes. Okay. So today I went ahead and I decided to decorate my space where I do studio work. And it's my desk where I do things and I really like it, but I created a lot of intention. The intention is that there's a slight distraction right here so that way people have a tendency to tune in because they're trying to get away from the distraction. So do things like light a candle, okay? Light a candle and say, this candle does XYZ. It clears the space continuously. This glass of water gathers all the evil spirits, okay? And you could do that daily, okay? And then throw the water out into the grass and say, thank you, earth, transmute into unconditional love. All right? And it's how you are allowing and creating and co-creating the energy of your experience. How you vibe is where you tune in. So if you tune in and you're in like a fear base because you're sensing a lot of fear, that for me, that fear that you're sensing is the wobble. I call it the wobble, okay? And the wobble is spirit that is not completely transitioned yet, okay? And it feels pushy, like it has an agenda and has an expectation of you. And that's true because it's still in its physical aspect and it's using your physical form, to produce what it thinks it is. All right? Alive, or well, in a body. Get it? Okay. See, now you just let go of curiosity because now you're not holding that wobble anymore, but you could see where it was stuck. It was stuck in your solar plexus over to the left. That's your spleen. Spleen usually represents spirituality. See how we're clearing it a little bit? And we're just giving it words and energy and love and acceptance. And we're just allowing it to feel spaciousness. Okay. Now, the other vibration that you were practicing, let's just give it a door and say, there you go. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Relax into your body. There you go. Okay. And that's how you would do it. Now, you're practicing, and as you practice, trust, especially right now that Neptune, so for the next 14 to 16 years, it's all about faith. All right? It's all about faith because there is a newness coming that hasn't been experienced in thousands of years. And we're on the leading edge of it. And because we're on the leading edge of it, if we lean into our divine feminine aspect, it'll be easier. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about your intuition. It's all about how you feel. I agree. I agree. And it is managing the energy, because really what we pick up is other people's thoughts. And so sometimes it doesn't, just because you have a thought and you don't use it anymore, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's always existed because you breathe life into it. So now it's in existence. You don't have to practice that thought. Okay. You don't have to practice that vibration, but it's still present, still going to be present. So learning to manage your energy helps as well. Sometimes that sometimes when we're in medical situations, right? So you could call this like a medical situation. So the medical situations require support, direct support, right? And the direct support gives you the opportunity to make sense, create meaning about your experience. Get it? So you're managing the energy yet again through a story, telling yourself this is what it is and this is how it works. And that's how life is. That's how it all works. All of it works that way. Okay? So thank you for your courage. I appreciate you for sharing that. I'm glad that you feel safe sharing that. Cool. All right. So I'm sorry. So Jera, here we go. We're going to go ahead and read your rune. You just needed a little zhuzh. A rune of beneficial outcomes. Jera applies to any activity or endeavor to which you are committed. Be aware, however, that no quick results can be expected. A span of time is usually involved, hence the key words 1 year, symbolizing a full cycle before the reaping, the harvest, or deliverance. So learning to manage that energy. Everybody's getting their sea legs. There's a lot of planetary transits that are magnetically affecting us. Okay? You have prepared the ground and planted the seed. Now you must trust. Now you must cultivate with care. To those whose labor has a long season, a long coming to term, Jera offers encouragement of success. Know that the outcome is in the keeping of providence and continue to persevere. Remember the old story about the farmer who was so eager to assist his crops that he went out at night and tugged on the new shoots. There is no way to push the river. Equally, you cannot hasten the harvest. Be mindful that patience is essential for the recognition of your own process, which, in its season, leads to the harvest of the self. Good rune. Great rune. Okay, let's see. All right. Is that at peace? I don't know what that is. Okay. I can pull a rune for career for you. And Priscilla was here a minute ago. I think she might be here. And if she'd like a rune, I could pull a rune for you as well, Priscilla. Thank you very much for a compliment on my hair. It changes every time I wash it. Oh, I didn't want to skip you. I just didn't see a question. Do you have a question? If you don't have a question, I'll pull a rune for you. Okay, cool. I waited. I'm good. Okay, great. Okay. And then we'll come back to the other individual. They may not be here right now, which is all right. Might just be you. Perfect. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh. Ruse. Reversed. Let's see what that one is. Okay. Ruse reversed. It is. Okay, so 100. Let's see. It feels like it's in the cycle of initiation. Ooh. Okay, it's the rune of terminations and new beginnings. Okay, so it's strength, manhood, womanhood, the wild ox. Reversed is how you received it. All right, so. Okay. No. It wasn't reversed. You got it. It was perfect. I read it reversed. Okay, so it's right side up. Okay. All right. The rune of terminations and new beginnings. Drawing a ruse indicates that the life you have been living has outgrown its form. Oh, heck yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so your acting career. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. That form must die so that new energy can be released in a new form. This is a rune of passage and, as such, part of the cycle of initiation. Positive growth and change, however, may involve a descent into darkness as part of the cycle of perpetual renewal. As in nature, this progression consists of 5 aspects: death, decay, fertilization, gestation, rebirth. Events occurring now may well prompt you to undergo a death within yourself. Since self-change is never coerced, we're always free to resist. Remain mindful that the new life is always greater than the old. Okay. Prepare then for opportunity disguised as loss. All right. Prepare then for the opportunity disguised as loss. It could involve the loss of someone or something to which you have an intense emotional bond and through which you are living a part of your life, a part that must now be retrieved so you can live it out for yourself. Okay. In some way, that bond is being severed, a relationship radically changed, a way of life coming to an end. Seek among the ashes and discover a new perspective and new strength. The ancient symbol for a ruse was an aurochs, a wild ox. When the wild ox was domesticated, an immensely difficult task. It could transport heavy loads. Learn to adapt yourself to the demands of such a creative time. Firm principles attached to this rune. At the same time, humility is called for, since in order to rule, you must learn how to serve. A ruse puts you on notice that your soul and the universe support the new growth. Okay, so let's see. So I was getting like messaging about, I don't know if you're a method actor or a specific look. Like, I think you have a specific look. And I think that specific look is what I think, like what I got was like, you have a specific look and it needs to become broader. Plus, there have been aspects that have been offered to you that you've rejected, yet some of those are the very paving stones that you're asking for to grow your career. And if you are willing to open up to the possibility of change, it doesn't have to be immense change. It's a lot of inward change is what I'm sensing. And this inward change is how you view yourself and your worth. And so what I'm getting is like you show up kind of like you have to do it like you're mad, right? You're not in a mad frame of mind. You're really kind and generous and nice person, right? But the energy that you come with is very masculine. And it's like you're like, and what? And what? And in that energy, they can read beneath. So learning to center yourself, meditation, that'll be a whole new game for you. Plus, that would be an easier way to adjust to the rune energy, right? Is getting to know yourself and slowing down and finding what you really want. What kind of roles are you wanting to call in? See how the energy shifts, okay? Great. Perfect. So maybe, you know, because you can entertain both. You can absolutely entertain both. Because your eye, right? masculine energy is the doing aspect. It's intellectual, it's reasoning, it's understanding. And you can understand a situation. You live the situation, which is your intuitive nature. It's how you feel. So your feelings, like when you feel into possibly directing, how does that feel in your body? Does it let your body feel a little bit more less restricted? Does it let your mind feel a little bit more open? Are you answering to your artistic nature? And then you can say yes to all of those. See how you're leading yourself into what it is that you desire. As you lead yourself into what it is that you desire, it gives you a broader expanse to choose from. If you do it from a place of feeling connected and in a way that feels good to you, those are the style of opportunities that will come. I would, were I you, because you have a really, if you're an actor, right, then decide what role would be really good, right? Before you go and do any casting calls, or you look on the casting network, or you go to the SAG, or you do any of the what's another one that I'm on? Anyway, okay. But besides, before you go to the site to check to see what's available, make it available to you. All right? Make it available to you. Do it energetically. So what you do is you set yourself up and you talk to yourself and you say, okay, so these are the kind of roles that I'm really interested in. Or this is a style of, I would love to be considered a director for this kind of a film. I would love to put together, I would like my lens on this creation. Okay, on this style of creation, and then find out where you can get into production, right? There's like so much that's out there, depending on how it is that you want to look at it. There's a lot of UCG, user generated, UGC out there, right? And there's a lot of people that are doing things that are behind the scenes. So it's easy for you to be seen. All right. The idea is to choose from like an intuitive space, because when you get to this audition, all right, if you go to an audition, when you get to this audition, you're going to show up in the same energy that you thought you would get it with. Okay. And that's gold. That is gold. So you feel into it and you think into it and you say, oh, wow, this is how the part would go. This is exactly, because this is such a juicy way to attract. Okay. So you can go into the part and you can say, oh, yes, I would love this part. And I think that this would be really nice. And I would portray it like this. I can see like the other cast of characters with me and how we're very supportive. And this is very natural to us. And, oh, wow, we sold out so many times. That's so lovely. I really love that. Okay. Now I'm going to go online and I'm going to see what's available to me. Now, this is like the attraction. I know it doesn't seem like it works, but that's what happens. You open yourself to possibility in this new vibration. Okay? Write them down. Write them down. Just write them down. Okay? You never have to use them, but write them down. When you write them down, it gives them credence. It lets you feel heard. It lets you say that ideas are great. I can have millions and millions and millions of ideas, and I have lots of choice. I have lots of choice. I don't have to be overwhelmed with choice. My choice can be whenever I'm ready. Nothing is right now until I say so. And you do that. All right. That's going to be the gold for you. Okay. And that's how you put yourself into that. All right. Okay, great. Okay. Let's see. And then, all right, back to here. So if you are still here, all right, and you want to know about career, I will be happy to pull a rune for you. And we'll naturally talk about energy because that's why I'm here. I'm doing great. So if anybody has a question, oh, great, cool. Pardon me. You're more than welcome to put your question down or subject, and I'll read into it. And what we're doing is we're shifting the energy so that way what you're asking for, you feel aligned to. Once you ask for something, it already exists. It already exists. You just have to face in the direction of it. Okay? You're going to create it. You will physically create what it is that you desire. You'll do so through a thought and through a feeling. And as you do that, it'll make understandings. You'll say, oh, yeah, so if I do this, then I'll feel like that. And if I feel that that would work, then I think that maybe this could happen. And maybe I'll take this task and that's how this will happen. And then it will start to fill in and you become that magnet. That's the law of attraction. That's how it works. Inspired action is the body part of body, mind, spirit that you need in order for all of it to work successfully. Okay. All right. Okay. That was a good shift, huh? Okay. Ooh, oh, great rune. Okay, great rune. Okay, there we go. Just clearing your field a little bit. Cool. All right, so let's go here. This is Berkana. Yes, it's breakthrough. It's 1, 2, 3 is page number 2. That's hilarious. Growth. All right, growth. Okay. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So if you're waiting for something, oh, see, we're all in it now. I'll just take us all along for the ride because it's a vibe. We're looking for an alignment to this individual's aspect about career. And so they have a lot of intention behind it. So now we're all in like this boat. Okay. And so this boat is going toward the energy of what this individual is like contemplating or wanting. So that's what you guys are like noticing. All right. And we pulled a rune. We pulled a really, really, really good rune. This is Berkana. Okay. So Berkana is this. All right. And it represents growth, rebirth, and birch tree. See, so we're starting to settle. See how we're starting to settle? Okay. Give us a chance. Give us a chance because we're all arriving. That's what I call it. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So yes, because you are in that energy. And what it is that there's a practice of distraction at times. So you're practicing 2 different pieces of information for the same pattern. Okay. Career is your pattern. And you're practicing yes and no. But you're practicing more yes. So I want to let you know that you're doing really well. All right. I would say that we're almost there. We're like pulling up to the dock, so to speak, right? You feel it all like right in here. And so everyone think spaciousness. Cool. Very good. All right. Everybody think and feel in my body, not yours, not mine, in your own body. So everybody think in my body. Okay. There you go. All right. Cool. Everybody's centered, pulling up really good. Perfect. All right. You feel a lot of energy, I think. I think you're very gifted, and I think that you could feel a lot of this. And I think that you got the message as well that March looks like it's going to be a pretty stellar time for you to really come out of the closet with all the seeds that you've planted. All right. Okay. So at this time, this is the rune, but I got like that for timing. All right. It feels really good. See how it's like, it's not suppressed. It's like it's being pulled back in a rubber band, ready to expand, right? So let's get some expansion in there for you, okay? All right. Another of the cycle runes, Berkana represents a form of fertility that fosters growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, the relationship of the self to the self, or to the divine. It feels very inner world, so it feels like to the self, self to divine, self to divine. A rune that leads to blossoming and ripening. Berkana is concerned with the flow of beings into their new forms. Okay, that explains the, I don't know if you use this terminology. A lot of people are calling it ascension right now. Okay, and you're navigating it well, and I want to give you a little bit of insight as to how you're managing it. You're using your divine feminine and your divine masculine energies in balance and harmony. So when you dip into your intuitive nature and you say, oh, this would be a good time for this, or oh, this would be really, I think that this is a good time. How do I feel about that? That's how you would do that. All right. That's going to go ahead and allow you to better read the situations, because they're full body experiences now. Everybody, over 8 billion people are all in this same experience. We all know divine feminine woke up, so all our feelings are very readily present. And if we don't know how to manage them, then we're going to act on them. All right. So the idea is to notice what the feelings are, recognize them, and say, oh, okay, yes, I know what this feeling is. How do I want to progress with this one? Or would I like to feel a little bit more success? And then see everything that you intention for success starts to feel in your heart space, right? Okay. What is called for here is to consider your issue with care and awareness. First, disperse resistance. Pretty good, huh? Okay. Then accomplish the work. For this to happen, your will must be clear and controlled, your motives correct. So motives are how you feel about it. Your will is the inspired action you're willing to take toward it, all right? And you are asking for something larger, but you're also creating it to be easier. So when it's all in the energy and you're saying, well, I think that it could be like this, and I'd really like if that would happen, and this would be kind of cool like this, and then you start to see how you have resistance right here in your crown perception. So in your perception and in your connection to what's possible, see how you have like that little limitation right there. Let's just boop. Okay, let's just get rid of that. There you go. Open it up. Transmute that psychic debris into little white butterflies of unconditional love. Fuck it. I don't want to walk through anything else. All right. So now you're just opening your energetic field. And the reason you're opening your energetic field is because you want more perception. You don't want to stay in the limitation that you've already created, or the story or the construct that you've already created. You want to acknowledge that you're there and that experience is cool. The experience you're in is really good. And it's okay for you to want more. It's perfectly fine for you to want more. It is natural for you to want more. That's what we come here for, is for expansion. So how you produce more, is it physical? Is it mental? Is it emotional? It always ends up being all three. So how do you want to feel? Right? How do you want to feel, or how do you think you'll feel when you're in that success? Okay. So start practicing that vibration. Start practicing that vibration and literally looking for the opportunities in that vibration. Okay. Because that's where it's going to be. Got it? All right. Any dark corners should be cleansed. This must be carried out diligently and sometimes with expert help. Modesty, patience, fairness, and generosity are called for here. So recognition of another individual having the same capability and application that you could have, right? Not conceding to the individual, but being in humility, that you're standing at the fullness of who you are, all right, as are they, against something greater, right? Okay, so there you go. Good, very good. See how your backbone just lit up? Isn't that nice? Okay. Once resistance is dispersed and rectification carried out and seem to hold firm, then through steadfastness and right attitude, the blossoming can occur. Okay. So it's not necessarily fake it till you make it. It's moving into the vibration of choice. And that's where you're going to find it. You won't find it anywhere else because you said so. There you go. See, you're coming back in now. Isn't that fun? Okay. So let's see. I'm going to answer this question for you, okay, Miss Bernadette. And 27%. About 27% of your physical, mental, and emotional body is saying, yeah, I'm down for that. Okay. All right. Just letting you know. Choices. Let's see. Was there anybody else who checked in at this time? Let's see. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, because you're in a space of healing. So because you're in a space of healing and nuance, you have resistance to bring a new child through to what you're perceiving. Okay? And when you decide that what you're perceiving is okay, then your body will relax and it will feel safe in reproduction. You can, yes, most likely, but at 27%, the likelihood currently, like right now, right time, right, like real time, is less. Okay, so so that's really good there. Okay, so now you have kind of an indicator, all right, and you're taking that vibration into consideration. Okay. All right. And you're taking that vibration into consideration. And if you have a desire, right? If you have a desire, what is it that you're looking for to feel like by having another child, right? What are you looking for? What is that feeling, right? Not that you don't have enough, not that you have too many, nothing like that, but what is the feeling that you're looking for? And start practicing that particular vibration. We have a lot of evidence around us that teaches us that we can practice what we see. We speak to ourselves depending on how we feel. And if we're not feeling great, we're feeling less, all right, then what we could do is understand that that's how we'll speak to ourselves. If we're feeling better, if we choose to feel happy for absolutely no reason, it's a vibration. You can feel happy, you can feel love, you can feel acceptance, you can feel openness, you can feel willingness, you can feel all of these vibes. See how they all it's like a symphony. You could choose from anything, just like you could choose angry, sad, happy, joyous, appreciation, gratitude. Gratitude. I love gratitude. Let's do gratitude. Gratitude is a good one. Okay. So, right now we gathered a whole bunch of energy, right? And it's all in our solar plexus because we're going to do something. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell our solar plexus, thank you so much for the care and concern and holding sacred our ideation. We release it back to the universe. Isn't that nice? All right. And now we chose gratitude. Now gratitude's coming in. See how that works? We chose a single vibration to think about, create an understanding. Allow ourselves to come into meaning or make sense of it. And as we make sense of it, we create feelings that associate to it, that are how we interpret our world. And it becomes so. So what are you grateful for? Let's start with you. Let's start with your breath. Let's start with the clothes that you have, the ability to be online that you have, the ability to be present for yourself, the beauty of you, how you keep showing up for yourself and showing up for others, That's really wonderful. You're doing your absolute best. And you see your whole vibration changes, your whole countenance changes. How you interact externally now, internally now is going to change. You'll think more kindly. You'll have more clarity because you're practicing a single vibration instead of multiple vibrations that overwhelm us, right? Yes. All right. I love interacting with you guys. And I think that I'm going to get going because it's already been an hour. I didn't realize it had been that long. And I'll see you on Tuesday for sure. Tuesday at 4 p.m. It'll be the same show, but it won't be the same show. I just wanted to use my little post that I had. And so I'll put everything up. And I love you guys. I hope that you have the best week ever. All right. Thank you for tuning in. And happy almost full moon.